I think you understand my whole point that I'm now saying for the 20th time. It's never too late. It's never too late to do good in the world. And you'll see what I'm talking about. If you want to feel good, and which everybody does, right? In fact, human beings really want one feeling, which is we want to feel happy. We want to be in this high vibration. We want to feel happy. Anything else, we reject. We don't want to feel sad. We don't most people don't look at sadness or whatever the lower feeling is. They don't look at that as, hey, this is a time for growth. They look at it like, hey, I'm in hell. Like, get me out of here. I don't want to feel this. And which is normal for us to, yeah, it's normal. It's normal human behavior. But my point, let me just sum that up. Be a good human. That's the t-shirt I always wear. Be a good human. It's simple. With all of these recordings I've made, and I might remind you that the reason that there's so many is because I can't make a damn recording over 15 minutes because it will take 4 hours to upload to YouTube. So I have to keep it under 15 minutes. So, but I mean, even with all these recordings, you're still just getting the Cliff Note version of my life. There's so much more that happened. But I really want to go into the good stuff. Yep, it took me, 30-something recordings before I got to the good stuff. The good stuff meaning, I call it the good stuff. The things that I've had that are supernatural, the experiences I've had. Some would call supernatural, some would call paranormal. Like the extraterrestrial, or I call super terrestrial beings, my contact with them. But I want to explain all that. The reason why I didn't go into any detail or really mention that before now is because I didn't want to just mention it in passing and then everybody go, huh, what are you talking about? I thought I'd keep it all together, the whole subject matter, in the same recording or more than one recording. And it's not just super terrestrial or extraterrestrial beings. It's the mystical realm that I have had contact with. And fairies, for example, for people that laughed when I just said that, don't you think it's possible that, we have such a thing as fairies? Because we have dogs, we have possums, I have a fox in my backyard, we have ants and bugs and flies, and with all of these creatures, the whole idea of rejecting a fairy being is weird to me. That's just my opinion. It's weird. It's like, why would you not think that there's a possibility that there are extraterrestrial beings? We are absolutely not the only life form in this massive universe, and this is just one universe of many universes. That wouldn't even make sense to be the only planet with life. So, of course, there's something else out there. But fairies, I want to clear something up about fairies. A lot of cultures, I saw this, I know this is something that the Scottish people talk about. The folklore about fairies is they're demons. That's not what they are. And let me clear up what that means, demon, right? I think I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. Everything comes from the light. Everything it originates from the light. If it becomes bad or mean or evil or whatever word you want to use, it's just because it's moved further and further away from the light. That's why I always say hell is just a place without God. That's all it is. It exists on earth. It's a state of consciousness. So my whole point is, when you are in right relationship with everything, you are in balance with everything. That means you're walking in the middle in this neutral position where you can observe the light, you can observe the dark, you can be appreciative and respectful of what all of it offers to us. Meaning that, I don't want any dark stuff up in my house, but when I have felt it before, I have acknowledged it as being an important part of the earthly experience. Because you don't know what the light is without the dark. You wouldn't even appreciate light. You wouldn't know what God was. You wouldn't know what it feels like to feel deeply in love with someone without the opposite, right? We're a duality. Earth, everything has an opposite. And so the dark plays a role just like the light plays a role. And so my point is, when you can just be an observer and respect what the role is from all of them and be respectful of all beings, then you are in right relationship with all things, and you don't have to suffer consequences like a fairy locking you out your house because you just, threw a bunch of trash in or hurt or messing with the earth. They're the keepers of the earth. They, years and years, hundreds of years ago, they used to be in physical form. People interacted with fairies just like they do dogs. But over time, they quit interacting with humans because, quite honestly, they got tired of the way humans treated the earth. So they just, when I say went in hiding, they're these interdimensional beings. They're right here. They're existing with us. They're just in this other dimension. So if you earn their trust, they actually will show themselves to you. Now, I have seen them, and I have had clients that have seen them. And here's the funny thing. In fact, the first time I had a client tell me that, she kept saying, okay, I got to tell you something, but you're going to think I'm crazy. I'm like, you don't even have to use the word crazy in front of me. You could say anything, and it's probably not going to sound crazy, but hit me with it. And 2 days later, Deb did an energy session for someone. It was at our house, too, and it may have been the next day. She does an energy session for someone, and these two people who don't know each other told almost an identical story in the same couple of days, and this was right after I saw a fairy. I'm like, oh my gosh, if that's not validation, I don't know what is. Both of them had stories, though, where one of them had gone out of town, had gotten back in town and wanted to work in her garden. She was standing in her kitchen window, like looking at her garden, like excited to go out and work in her garden, and here comes a fairy, like right up in the window. And she said, I couldn't wrap my head around it. And I said, I totally get you. I've been there. It's like your mind sees it, your mind knows what it is, and then your mind's like trying to give another reason or justify this, or find another excuse for what you're seeing. And then this other lady says the same thing. I think she was outside and it came up in her face. But anyway, I have befriended the fairy realm, and I never tell them, thank you for what you do. That's demeaning to them. If I were to say, thank you for keeping, being a keeper of the earth, for taking care of the earth, that's demeaning for me as a human to tell them. I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. Like, thank you for what you do. Well, that's what they do. What I tell them is, thank you for allowing me to be a witness to your world. I'm just in gratitude for that. I just show respect to them. When I moved into the house that I'm in now, which was, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 months ago, it's just these woods behind it. It's an oasis that I needed for healing, but it's this magical space that I can't even really put it into words. I can tell you this, I do readings from home, and when my clients come in, everybody talks about it. They feel it. There's something very magical about the energy here. And the first thing I did was walk out in the backyard when I hadn't even moved my stuff in, and I said, hey, I want everybody to know that everybody's safe here. We don't kill anything. I just want us to be in good relationship, and I want you to know that you can trust me, and I don't demand that. I'll earn that. And I did. I actually put up a fairy garden and everything, and I don't know. Look, the day after I put it up, I went outside and I'm like, I hope I didn't insult all of you by putting this fairy garden up here. Like Like, in other words, they have their home. They know how to make their home. And here I show up in the house with something I ordered off of Amazon. And I wanted to make sure it wasn't insulting. And right when I said that, one flew right in front of me. They respected the fact that I was being respectful that way. And so, because I really try and be respectful, I don't talk to them like, oh, look at the little cute little fairy, at all. I talk to them like they're very intelligent, they're ancient, like they're the leaders, right? That that they can teach us a lot about how we should treat the earth. But I apologize for their Amazon mansion, because it is kind of a mansion. It's like a castle. But then I thought, is this insulting? Because, I mean, that would be like me showing up, them showing up on my property and trying to drop a house, from Amazon or made out of popsicle sticks and said, here's a home. I'm like, huh? Get your ass out of here. So you see what I'm saying? I was like, I just gave thought to it. And I'm like, I want to make sure I didn't insult all of you. When I take pictures of them, I ask them, can I please take a picture of you? If not, it's okay. And then I'll ask them, can I please take a picture of you that's not blurry? Because that is definitely something they will do, is they'll make sure the picture's blurry, because it needs to be. Now, for an extraterrestrial, the reason pictures are blurry, you know how people say it all the time, why is it every time somebody takes a picture of a UFO, it's blurry? Well, that's because it has a massive electromagnetic field around it that makes it blurry, and that's on purpose. It's the same exact thing with fairies. That they're absolutely will make it blurry on purpose, because they're not going to out themselves. That it takes time to earn that trust. I'm going to make another recording.